Hello friend, today we will be talking about alkaloids. This video will be helpful for all pharmacy related competitive exam like Pharmacist, D Pharmacy exit exam, Drug Inspector, GPAT and NIPER-JEE exam. So let's start with the topic. So what is alkaloid? Alkaloid are basically secondary metabolites synthesized by the plant from the amino acid. This type of compounds are basic in nature and are synthesized from amino acids. They contain the nitrogen atom in its structure. The nitrogen atom either present in the ring structure as shown in the structure here, or it can be present in the side chain. Like CH3 is the side chain. Somewhere if nitrogen is present somewhere here, then it is in side chain. Here in this case nitrogen is present in the ring structure, that is a part of heterocyclic ring. So based on the two things. First is location of nitrogen atom, whether it is in the ring structure or in the side chain. Second, whether alkaloids are synthesized or originated from the amino acid or not. These alkaloids are classified into three class. First is true alkaloid, second is pseudo alkaloid, and third is proto-alkaloid or amino alkaloid. In case of true alkaloid, nitrogen atom is present in the ring structure or it is a part of heterocyclic ring, and this type of alkaloid are originated from the amino acid. Example includes the atropine, morphine and nicotine, and many other alkaloids are true alkaloids. Next class is pseudo alkaloid, which is completely opposite to the true alkaloid. Here nitrogen atom do not present in the heterocyclic ring, it is present in the side chain, and this type of alkaloid are not originated from amino acid. So in case of true alkaloid, amino acid is the precursor and nitrogen atom is present in the ring structure. But in case of pseudo alkaloid, amino acid is not a precursor and nitrogen atom is present in side chain and not in heterocyclic ring. Example of pseudoalkaloid are diterpene, steroidal alkaloid, purine alkaloids such as caffeine, theobromine, and theophylline. Next class is protoalkaloid or amino alkaloid. In case of protoalkaloid or amino alkaloid, they are originated from the amino acid, but nitrogen atom is present in the side chain and not in the heterocyclic ring. So if you compare the pseudoalkaloid and protoalkaloid, both are containing nitrogen atom in the side chain and not in the heterocyclic ring. But in case of pseudoalkaloid, they are not synthesized from amino acid, while protoalkaloid or amino alkaloid are synthesized from the amino acid. Example of protoalkaloid are mescaline, adrenaline, ephedrine, and colchicine. So you have to remember two things: position of nitrogen atom and amino acid is precursor or not for particular type of alkaloid, and second is example of that particular types. So if you remember the example of pseudo alkaloid like caffeine, theobromine, theophylline means purine alkaloid and steroidal alkaloid, and for protoalkaloid mescaline, adrenaline, ephedrine and colchicine, then you no need to remember example of true alkaloid because all other alkaloids are true alkaloid. So next is chemical classification of alkaloid. Alkaloid is having some structure, ring structure, and based on which type of ring present in that alkaloid, they are chemically classified into 7 to 8 classes. First is pyrrolidine. These are the ring structure or ring. This derivative or this class is based on the ring which is present in the structure of alkaloid. This second column is precursor amino acid, from which amino acid this class of alkaloid is produced or formed, and third column is example of that class. First is pyrrolidine derivative. They are originated from ornithine or arginine amino acid. Example are hygrine and hygrolin. Second is tropane derivative or tropane class of alkaloid, which is synthesized from the ornithine or arginine amino acid. Example include atropine, scopolamine, cocaine, eugonine, hyoscine, etc. Next is piperidine derivative. They are synthesized from lysine amino acid, and example are lobeline, conicin, and conine. Next is pyridine derivative. Pyridine derivative or pyridine class of alkaloid are synthesized from nicotinic acid, and example include trigonine, trigonelline, ericolin, nicotine, anabasine. Next is isoquinoline derivative. This type of alkaloids contain isoquinoline ring in its chemical structure. They are synthesized from tyrosine or phenylalanine amino acid. Example of isoquinoline alkaloid includes the papaverine, narcotine or noscapine, imetine, morphine, codeine, and thivane. Codeine, thivane. So next class is quinoline derivative. Quinoline class of alkaloid are synthesized from the tryptophan amino acid. The example of such alkaloid includes quinine, quinidine, cinchonine, and cinchonidine. Next class is indole derivative. This is the major class of alkaloid. It is synthesized from the tryptophan amino acid. Example includes the physostigmine or iserin, ergotamine, ajmalin, yohimbine, reserpine, strychnine, brucine. Also, vinca alkaloid like vincristine, vinblastine are type of, are comes under indole type of alkaloid. Next is imidazole alkaloid. Imidazole alkaloid are synthesized from the amino acid histidine. Example includes the pilocarpine and pilosine. Next is steroidal alkaloid. This steroidal alkaloid are synthesized from the cholesterol or arginine. This steroidal alkaloid contains steroidal ring in its structure. Steroidal ring is a four ring structure. If it is present in the alkaloid, then it is steroidal alkaloid. Example include solasodine and solanidine. Next is purine derivative. Purine derivative or purine class of alkaloid are comes under pseudo alkaloid. So pseudoalkaloids are not synthesized from amino acid. Therefore, there is no source written here or precursor is not written here. And next is example of purine alkaloid, as we saw, it's caffeine, theobromine, and theophylline. So you no need to remember all the classes here, but those who are in bold, then you have to remember that classes only, because they are very important. You should remember the name, precursor, and example of that class. Next is identification test for alkaloids. So every alkaloid except pseudo alkaloid like purine alkaloid and steroidal alkaloid, purine alkaloid like caffeine, theobromine, theophylline, they do not give positive reaction for common test. Remaining all other alkaloid except pseudoalkaloid gives positive reaction or positive common test. So there are four common tests used for identification of alkaloid. First is Mayer test, second is Dragendorf test, third is Wagner test, and fourth is Hager test. So in case of Mayer's test, potassium mercuric iodide is used as a reagent and it gives the cream color precipitate with alkaloid. Next is Dragendorf test. potassium bismuth iodide is used and it gives the reddish brown PPT. Next is Wagner test. Wagner test gives reddish brown PPT when alkaloid is treated with the reagent iodine potassium iodide. Next is Hager's test. Hager's test uses picric acid as a reagent and it gives the yellow color PPT with alkaloid. Here you should remember the name of all the four common tests used for identification of alkaloid along with their reagent name. Many times this Dragendorf test reagent they have asked in examination. Next time they might ask another examples or another reagent name, test name. So you should remember the reagent name and test name for common test. Next is some alkaloid class specific test is also there for identification of that particular alkaloid, like purine alkaloid or caffeine, which do not give positive common test. So specific test is present for identification of purine class of alkaloid like caffeine. The test name is Murexide test. Next is tropane alkaloids like atropine and hyoscine. Vitellimerine test is used for identification of tropane alkaloid like atropine and hyoscine. Next is cinchona alkaloid. This cinchona alkaloid like quinine are identified using thiolocine test. Next class is ergot alkaloid. For ergot alkaloid like ergotamine, Van Erck test is used for identification. So reagent used in Van Erck test is para-dimethyl aminobenzaldehyde. Here dimethyl, not diethyl, and here benzaldehyde, but not benzoic acid. So you should remember the correct name para-dimethyl aminobenzaldehyde because they will confuse you with ethyl, diethyl, or benzaldehyde or benzoic acid in MCQ questions. So you should remember dimethyl aminobenzaldehyde is a reagent used in Van Erck's test, and this test is used for identification of ergot alkaloid only. Next is opium alkaloid. Meconic acid test is used for identification of opioid alkaloids. So these are the specific tests. These are class specific. Suppose Whitley-Morin test is used for only tropane alkaloid. Tropane alkaloid can be identified by other tests like common test, but purine alkaloid cannot be identified using common test. So Murexide test is specific test for caffeine or purine alkaloid. All other tests like thiolocine, Van Erck's reagent, and reagent name of Van Erck's test you should remember for examination because they have asked these questions in previous examinations. So we have covered all the important points regarding alkaloid for the examination. If you're new at the channel, please subscribe and share with your friend if you like the video. Thank you.